Hi everyone, Miss Turdick here and welcome to Yoga at Home number 10. Before we get started, I should give you a heads up. My cat Marvin is in a frenzy, so if you hear him yelling, that's just Marvin. Maybe he wants to do some yoga with us too. So what you will need for this is a trusted adult to supervise or maybe join in alongside you. Make sure you're doing your yoga in an open space in your home. Push away any furniture, pick up any clutter. As you can see, I've rolled up my carpet and I've pushed the couches to the side to make a little bit of extra room. You can do yoga either on a mat or on the carpet. You need to be in some comfortable clothes. You can wear sock feet or bare feet. Have a bottle of water handy just in case you get thirsty. And if you're somebody who's been using props, as we've been working on some of the poses in the previous videos, have a pillow, or if you were using paper towels, keep those handy because they may help you with some of the poses as we work our way through Yoga at Home number 10. So let's get started, and we're going to begin by laying in Savasana or resting pose. So we want to make sure that our feet are wide on our mat, and we want to make sure that our palms are facing up, and you can take a few deep breaths in and out. Just settle in and try to forget the things that have happened in the day or things that you may have planned for later on. And you can spend as much time as you would like in Savasana. For the purpose of the video, I'm going to go straight to our second pose, which is Child's Pose. Now we've done Child's Pose before, so there's a couple of different options for Child's Pose. Okay, so there's a version where we keep our legs together, so simply sit like so on your mat, extend your arms out, and lower your forehead to the floor, making sure that you're feeling a nice stretch through your shoulders. That's one option. Option number two, just extend your knees out and settle your bottom onto the soles of your feet. And if you can't quite make it to the soles of your feet, just as low as you can go. And you see that my arms are extended and I'm feeling a stretch in my shoulders. Now you may want to rock your forehead back and forth on your mat. And this is great if you're somebody who has a headache, or maybe if you are experiencing some seasonal allergies. They can get bad this time of year. Rocking your forehead back and forth helps to relieve any tension in your head. It also helps to relieve sinus congestion. Okay, so from here, we're going to come into a tabletop. And from tabletop, we're going to come into a downward facing dog. And this is our upside down V. And so you can come high onto your toes, lowering your heels down as far as they'll go. And if they don't go all the way down to the carpet or your mat, that's okay. And you can come back high onto your toes, lower to your heels again. You can pedal out your feet and your legs like so. You can rock your hips back and forth. Okay, whatever you need to do just to sort of loosen things up in your legs and in your lower back. And from here, I'm going to walk my feet to my hands, and I'm going to come into a forward fold, and I'm reaching for opposite elbows. You can do that, letting your head and neck hang. This is another great thing to do to relieve any stress or tension. You can lower your hands down and then just simply hang. Notice there's a slight bend to my knees. When you feel ready, you can try to straighten your legs a little bit and you'll feel more of a stretch in the back of your legs. Now from there, you can come into a halfway lift, so palms to shins, and lower down. then we're going to extend our arms up, and we're going to interlace our fingers coming into crescent moon pose. And so we're just going to arch over to the right, and you might feel your shoulders or your back crack. Notice how my toes are together, my ankles are together, my knees are together. You're just going to breathe in and out, like so. And then come back over to the left side. And again, feeling a nice stretch across our right side of our body into our right ribs. And returning back to center. And then you can lower your arms down. And from there, we're going to come into our next pose, which is tree pose. So tree pose is always a favorite. It does test our balance. So again, just like a tree has roots, we're going to use our feet as our roots. We're going to put all of our weight into our left foot. And you've got a few different options for what you do with your right foot. You can either bring it to your ankle, your calf, or you can bring it to your inner thigh. And you can use your hand to help you move your foot along to your inner thigh area if you'd like to. And then you can bring your hands to heart center like so. And you can focus your gaze on something that's not moving, and that will help you with your balance. And if you like, you can grow your branches nice and tall, and you can try looking up at your ceiling. That's another thing to do to test your balance, or who knows, you may want to even close your eyes. That's a real test of your balance. I won't do that for the purpose of the video. And then we're going to bring our hands back down to heart center. We're going to bring our knee forward and lower our foot. Now this time, hands on our hips, all our weight into our right foot. It's going to act as our roots for our tree this time. And again, left foot, you might want to do the same thing as you did with your right foot. So foot to either your ankle, your calf, or your inner thigh, or you're welcome to try something different, whatever you would like. I'm going to go back to my inner thigh. I'm going to bring my hands to heart center. And I've been doing a lot of computer work lately with report cards. So I'm going to grow my branches, and I'm going to extend my arms out, pretending I'm pushing two walls that are closing in on me. And this is a great stretch for our wrists and our forearms. So if you're somebody that does spend a lot of time either gaming or texting or doing things on computer, this is a great stretch for your arms and for your wrists. And again, making sure that you're looking at something not moving. You can try looking up just to test your balance. And we're going to bring our hands back to heart center, and then we're going to bring the left knee forward, and we're going to lower our left foot to the floor. Okay, from here, we're going to come into our Warrior One pose. So for Warrior One, we want to step forward with our right foot. And if we picture an analog clock, so the clocks that have a face and hands like we see in the school, you're just going to angle your right foot to about a 2 o'clock position. Wow, Marvin's in a real frenzy now. Our back foot is going to be angled to a 10 o'clock position. Marvin, would you like to do some yoga with me? And then we're going to extend our arms up like so, and you can just heel toe that front foot forward if you need to. And you want to bend in your front leg, so the right leg should be bent, the left leg straight, and you'll feel a nice stretch along your left calf. Okay, so this is our Warrior One pose. Now from here, we're going to transition into Warrior Two. So for Warrior Two, I'm going to line up my left foot with the back of my mat, and then I'm going to turn my right foot so it's pointed forward. And you're going to notice there goes Marvin, that my right heel is aligned with the arch of my left foot. So we call that heel to arch alignment. You want that for your warrior two pose. And then, so we're just gonna bring our arms out in warrior two, like so. There's our warrior two. And you wanna make sure that this knee is pointed forward. You don't want your knee collapsing inward. And if you feel it collapsing inward, just work to move it farther to the right. Okay, and you don't want your shoulders up to your ears. You want to relax, just lower those shoulders down. Now we're going to dance our warrior back. So left arm comes behind our waist and right arm comes up like so. Dancing warrior. Coming back to warrior two, hands on our hips, turning all 10 toes to now face the same direction at the side. We're gonna come into a wide-legged forward fold. So simply keeping our hands on our hips, slight bend to our knees, and then we're going to lower down. Now, if you're somebody who would like to grab your pillow or paper towels, you can do that if you can't quite reach the floor. Now, I'm able to do that, so I'm going to lower down, and I'm feeling a stretch now in my thighs and in my hamstrings, which is the inner part of my leg and the back of my leg. Now for more of a stretch, I can bring my hands through the space I've created. And then I can extend my hands to either ankle like so. And I might want to even bend into the left knee, straightening the right leg, bending into the right knee, straightening the left leg. And this acts as a nice stretch too. Now, as I said, I've been doing lots of sitting, doing report cards, so this is a nice stretch for my body. And maybe in the summer, if your family does car trips and you've been sitting for a long time, this is something you could do just to stretch out your legs. Okay, and we're going to come back up into a standing position, heel toe, our feet together. Warrior one on the opposite side. So now we're going to pretend we're standing on top of that analog clock again. So this time it's our left foot that points to a 10 o'clock position and our right foot that points to the 2 o'clock position. Marvin must like warrior one pose. There he goes again. So we're going to inhale our arms up, bending the left leg this time, keeping the back leg, the right leg, nice and straight. And you can look up at the ceiling. Warrior one. Now from here, we're going to come into warrior two. So my right foot is aligned with the back of my mat, and I'm making sure that I have that heel to arch alignment now on this side. Warrior one pose is done. Warrior two, you want to make sure again that your left knee doesn't collapse. From here, we're going to dance our warrior back. So right arm behind our waist, left arm back like so, dancing warrior. Coming back to warrior two pose. Hands on our hips. All 10 toes are now facing the opposite way. We're going to do a wide-legged forward fold on this side. Now we're going to stretch our shoulders this time. We've done this before. If you have pain in your shoulders, tenderness in your back, you may not want to do this. In that case, just stick to what we did before on the opposite side. If your shoulders are feeling great today, interlace your hands like so and bend your knees. And then we're going to fold forward, extending our arms above our backs and necks like so. Now some of us are more flexible in the shoulders than others. So if you can't quite go as far as I'm going, that's okay. Listen to your body and do what works for you. And as I said, you can do that stretch So bending into the left knee, bending into the right knee. Great stretch for our legs. Coming back to center. Now you want to detach your fingers and then lower your arms down to the mat. And coming back to a downward dog position. So from our downward dog position, we are going to now do a flow. So we're going to come forward to high plank. And from here, I'm going to lower down. Notice how my tummy and my legs are going to touch at the same time. And I'm going to flatten my feet so the shoelace part of my feet is touching my mat. Okay, my fingers are in line with my armpits, and I'm lifting my heart off my mat. Cobra's pose. Hands to the mat. Now you can push up into a plank, or you could bend your knees to return to downward facing dog. Now from here, we're going to spring forward, and we're going to inhale our arms up, coming into a dancer's pose. So for dancer's pose, you probably remember this one takes a lot of balance. We're going to lower our right arm like we're serving something on a tray. We're going to pick up our right foot in our right hand, and notice how I'm grabbing on at the big toe. Okay, and this is dancer's pose as I am now. Notice how my knees are together. Just move my legs here for emphasis so you can see. This is dancer's pose. Welcome to stay here if you'd like, or you can tip forward into the fullest expression of the pose. And again, focus your eyes on something that's not moving. And coming back to center. And let's inhale our right arm up, left arm acts like we're serving something on a tray. We're going to pick up the left foot in the left hand. And again, we're going to make sure that our knees are aligned with each other. Now from here, I can stay, or I can tip into my fullest expression. And you might find that one side feels a little easier than the other, and that's normal. And try to smile. Okay, and coming back slowly and standing at the center of our mat. Okay, from here, we're going to inhale our arms up, and we're going to lower down, and you can come into a plank pose, and we'll do a triple dip. So lowering down and pushing up, lowering down and pushing up. One more time, lowering down and pushing up. Now you could also do that from your knees if that's more comfortable for you. Now I'm going to spring forward, and I'm going to lower my body, and I'm going to come into thread the needle pose. Okay, so I want to keep my legs up like so, and I'm going to extend my right leg up, and I can flex my foot. Okay, this will protect my knee joint, and I'm going to bring my heel to my left knee like so, and I can push back on my right thigh and feel a stretch through my right hip. Now, if you're somebody who would like to have more of a stretch, you're welcome to reach through the space you've created and grab onto your left shin, and then use your right elbow to push that right leg back for a deeper stretch into your hips. Now, for even more of a feeling, you can rock to the left, and you'll feel that your hip is stretching even more so. So this is thread the needle, great for people who sit a lot. So if you're on a long car trip in the summer, maybe going camping somewhere, and you feel like your hips are stiff, this will definitely help you feel better. Okay. Coming back to center, lowering the left foot down, right foot down. Now let's extend the left leg up. Okay, we're gonna flex the foot. Okay, I'm gonna bring the left ankle to my right knee area, keeping that foot flexed so that I don't injure my knee. I'm welcome to stay here like this, pushing gently on the left thigh, or if it's comfortable for you, reach through, grab that right shin, use your left elbow now to push back on the left leg, and you can tip to the right for a bit more of a stretch. So again, you do what's comfortable for you. If you're wanting to put more into this and you're having a hard time reaching your shin, you can get a towel or a large t-shirt and use that as an extension to your arms. Okay, lowering both feet to the floor and getting ready for our next pose, which this time is going to be a flow with our upward dog. So coming to a seated position, getting ourselves into downward facing dog, and we're going to come high onto our toes. We're going to lower our heels just to stretch things out. Okay, now from here, come into a high plank, and we're going to bend our arms, and then we're going to roll onto the tops of our feet, coming into upward dog, rolling onto our toes, downward dog. We'll do a couple of these. Great for building strength in your arms and chest. Now another variation, I didn't put this in the instructions, but you can lift your right leg and come forward, lower down. So it's a three-legged dog flow. Coming back to downward dog, then elevate the left leg. Now we're going to come forward and then lower down. Downward facing dog. Okay, from here, we're going to return to a seated position on our mats. And we're gonna do something that is a great stretch for your lower back and for your hamstrings. So if you've been doing lots of running, this will help to stretch out your legs, maybe biking. So if you've got a prop like a pillow or paper towels and you want more of a stretch, you can put that item in front of your feet like so. That just makes it a little more challenging for you, okay? You don't need to have this because all we're simply doing is reaching forward and grabbing for our feet, okay? And again, if you're flexible and you want more of a stretch, you can reach forward and grab for those paper towels. Okay, if flexibility is something you're working on, okay, you could try for your ankles or try for your knees. Whatever works best for your body, you know your body best. So we're going to keep this active for now. Okay, and then we can turn it into a passive forward fold from a seated position like so. And we're going to come back up. So you can set your prop off to the side. Now the last thing we're going to do is a spinal twist. Okay, so we're going to lay on our back and you're going to scooch your hips over to the right. Okay, and your knees will fall to the left. Now again, you might want to take your pillow or your paper towels and put them in between your knees if you find that comfortable. Then you can tee out your arms, and you want to look over at your right hand. And this is a great stretch for our lower back. Twists always help the spine. This is something that I think can benefit all of us, and I've actually, in all honesty, fallen asleep in this pose before. Find it comfortable. Okay, we're going to switch sides. So we're going to scooch our hips over to the left, and our knees come to the right. So again, this would be where you would put that prop in between your knees if you wanted to. Okay, and you'll notice that I'm bringing the left leg over the right a little more so. Okay, if you're capable of doing more of a stretch, you can do that. You want to keep your shoulders on the mat or on the carpet, whatever you're on, looking out over our left fingers. Okay, now I lied. This actually isn't our last pose. It was our second to last. We're going to end with a reclined cobbler's pose. Okay, so this is great just for loosening up those muscles in our lower back. And you should usually do a seated cobbler's pose or a reclined cobbler's pose anytime you do a twist. It's just good practice for making sure that the muscles in our back are fine. And you can put one hand on your tummy, the other hand on your heart, and you might feel your heart beating. And notice how maybe it goes from beating a little quicker to now beating a little slower. You can take a few deep breaths in and out. Now you may wish to end your practice in the reclined cobbler's pose, that's okay. Or if it's bothering your legs like this after a while, sometimes it does, you can extend your legs out. You can splay your feet on your mat, and you can make your arms go wide, and you can just relax in Savasana. Maybe think about how fortunate you are to have food to eat, a roof over your head, clothes to keep you warm, a family and friends who love you and care about you. It's always nice to be grateful for those things that we have in our lives. So in saying that, I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for having had the opportunity to do 10 classes with you for yoga at home. I've really enjoyed this. It's been a fun experience for me, and I hope that you've had fun working on your balance and your coordination and your flexibility and your strength at home. Those are all things that yoga can help us out with, not to mention reducing the stress in our lives. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank you, and also to say have a safe and enjoyable summer, and I look forward to seeing all of you soon. Take care, and namaste.